here, and this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to Wheels of Fury. Hey, me and Matt here, and this is Killer Kyle, and welcome to another episode of Wheels of Fury.
We were going to do Great American Bash 95, but couldn't find reviews on it or video on it or whatever, so we're going to go back 10 years and go Great American Bash 85.
And what's cool about this video is actually the beginning of Great American Bash.
Yeah.
The first Great American Bash. And we've done like the first ECW pay-per-view, if you will. So this one was really cool just to see what it looked like back then. And it was really cool because it was an outdoor event.
Yeah.
And what I enjoy about outdoor events is basically it just looks huge.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I mean, obviously, when it's indoor, it's huge, but I mean, the atmosphere, I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. I'm not exactly sure where this took place, though.
Charlotte, North Carolina. So we got Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man, versus Paul Jones.
Number one, Paul Jones.
Yeah, this was pretty cool. And they really took it to the outside, too.
Yeah.
You know, and I think back then it was kind of like we talked about last week in our Evolve review that there was very little guardrail, but here it was pretty like the audience was safe. Well, safer, I guess.
Yeah.
This was a good match too.
Yeah. This was, of course, a dog collar match. And
yes.
What stemmed from this was Jimmy Valiant had a match against, it was either Abdullah the Butcher or somebody else. And there was interference from Paul Jones and using the cane and then, you know, taking out a handsome one, Jimmy Valiant, with like a clothesline with a cane and injured his throat, and then Valiant asked for a match against Jones, and Jones agreed, and then the AWA or NWA agreed, but they decided to make it a dog collar match. And you know, there have been very few chain dog collar matches in wrestling, and for very good reason. I mean, the most notable one that comes to my mind would be
Stargate 83. Yeah? What? I thought that was Roddy Piper versus Great Valentine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, where the Hammer busted up Piper's, broke his eardrum with a shot from the chain. Well, it's supposed to be a punch, and he kind of cupped his ear, and broke his eardrum, and all this other stuff. Yeah.
It's one of the most brutalest matches there ever was, and I don't think they ever had another one after this one. I'm even surprised they had this one.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of goes to show you how violent these matches were. Because they had very few in wrestling.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Valiant got all bloodied up too.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was cool. I was like, yeah, I can't imagine. And even Roddy Piper mentioned in an interview that, yeah, I'm glad that these matches don't continue because it hurts.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously it would hurt, but for a wrestler to say that, it's like,
Yeah, exactly. Even for, like, you look back, 2014 maybe, John Cena and Rusev in that Russian chain match.
yes, that was brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either that or you have the Texas blowout match, which isn't as painful, I would think, although
Yeah.
you being whooped by that would fucking hurt.
Yes.
So, I mean, this was a good match, and I think that Jimmy Valiant, I don't even know if underrated would be the right word.
Underrated. I'm not very well knowledge about his in-ring career and just, yeah.
I have his brother Johnny as well.
Yeah, Johnny seems to be the more recognized, you could say, of, of that brother tandem. Of course, I'm pretty sure Johnny did wrestle, but most notoriety of Johnny Valiant's career was managing the likes of Dino Bravo.
Yes.
And I think maybe Greg Valentine, but
Yeah.
Dino Bravo for sure, at least.
Yeah, speaking of the dog collar match, Greg Valentine.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So now we got a 6-man tag match with Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, Sam Houston, and Buzz Tyler against Superstar Billy Graham, Conga the Barbarian, and Abdullah the Butcher. Of course.
Conga the Barbarian.
Yeah. Everybody knows Superstar Billy Graham throughout the years, and Abdullah the Butcher being one of the most violent men in wrestling in that period of time. Conga the Barbarian, of course, later on to just be known as the Barbarian, eventually would be partnered up with Meng in WCW as the Faces of Fear. He did wrestle in WWE for a little bit as the Barbarian, of course.
With the Warlord.
Yeah, partnered with the Warlord. Of course, Meng was Haku, and then, you know, you got Sam Houston, who wrestled in WWE for a little bit.
Yeah.
Manny Fernandez, don't know too much about Manny.
No.
And Buzz Tyler.
I probably heard the name. Yeah. You know, you look at someone like Billy Graham and just the evolution of him.
Oh, yeah.
Going from the 70s, the blonde hair, the boas, the fashion and all that, the tie-dye. And then the martial art, whatever.
Yeah. Long blonde hair, chiseled physique, the boas, the tie-dye shirts, the rhyming, the promos he would cut were fantastic. And then later on in his career, bald head, thick goatee, still in relatively good shape, but there was a period in his life and in his career where he was kind of on a downhill spiral and came up with this whacked out martial arts routine gimmick, if you will, and it kind of worked, but ultimately he was like, Billy, this isn't you, man. You're you know, Superstar Billy Graham. You know, everybody remembers your matches and your rhythm and your rhymes and how you spoke, and this is just a shell of what you used to be. And he kind of was like, yeah, I probably should go back to me being me and me being who I was early on in my career, and he eventually ended up going back that way, but...
Well, I mean, you look at it this way with these guys and the stereotype of, oh, all wrestlers are steroid users, and look at Billy Graham, and he is one of the examples. It's like, he won't be the first one to say that steroids are good and they will make you a professional wrestler. I think that's pure bullshit. I think you have to eat right, train, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the Hulk Hogan thing, but, you know, yeah, steroids will help for like a year or so, but really, it's all natural.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at guys like CM Punk. I just talked about him today. So, Dan O'Brien, a lot of them. Johnny Morrison,
Yes.
you know, P.D. Williams, maybe. And we met him, and he didn't have that large physique that most wrestlers had back in the 70s.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but no, wrestling isn't just associated with steroids, or steroids are just associated with professional wrestling. More, you know, steroids can be used anywhere, but unfortunately, pro wrestling always had that, well, yeah, you have to have steroids, but no, you don't.
No. I don't know where people got this stereotype that to be a professional wrestler you gotta use steroids. No, you don't.
No.
As long as you have a proper diet, although some wrestlers maybe not necessarily have the most nutritional diet, but I mean, if you have a fairly decent diet, you work out, you spend, you know, an hour or two or more in the gym and cardio, lift weights, and all this other stuff, you can get in really good shape and still be a professional wrestler.
Well, look at Sheamus's YouTube channel.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I watched Selena Vega,
Yes.
who's like 4 foot, whatever, and just the workout made me piss myself.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, she's, you know, this freaking tall, but she works out just as hard as anybody else. And even though she's only been in the ring a few times wrestling, she's able to maintain that shape that she's got and still look really good. And, you know, pull off the odd Hurricane Rana on somebody on the outside.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's pretty athletic, but I think for her personally, it's, she likes how she feels, she enjoys how she looks, and she wants to maintain that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you have to work hard at it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't see people that look good and skinny and not go, okay, they must sit around watching TV all day. That's not true at all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, for us, it's kind of, we have to eat less and move more.
Yeah, but sometimes that's not always the case.
No, that's true.
Especially when you devour a whole pizza between two guys. Anyways.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
Next we go on to a match with the Outlaw, or whatever you want to call him at this point, Ron Bass,
Yes.
against Buddy Landau.
Yes, this was the match where it was mostly taken outside, and Ron Bass is another one of those guys that was really good in the ring, you know, and just taking it to Landau, and it was pretty cool just to see. I mean, I seen a lot of his matches, so
Yeah, talk about Jimmy Valiant being supremely underrated wrestler. I would say Ron Bass is in that category as well.
yes.
Because, yes, he's a fairly well-known wrestler, but he's not as high on the list as guys like, Magnum TA, Ric Flair, the Road Warriors, Dick Slater, Abdullah the Butcher, so on and so forth.
Right. Yeah, the match went to a draw. Well, again, which I don't understand. And I made my mains before, so I really won't go into it, but it's like you don't pay X amount of money just to go watch a draw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was too bad.
Yeah. Next is a match for the NWA National Tag Team Championship. You got the current champions, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, the team of Arn and Ole Anderson, against Buzz Sawyer and Dick Slater.
Yeah, and I made mention to Kyle earlier, and it's kind of like I don't know why I thought this, but thinking of Heath Slater and was related to Dick.
Yeah.
That didn't come out right. Anyways. But yeah, that's kind of like you got Heath Slater and you have Trevor Murdoch, but they're not related to Dick Murdoch or Dick Slater.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was pretty cool. The thing about the Minnesota Wrecking Crew is that, and I think everybody thought this too when they were kids or whatever, Arn and Ole are not related.
No.
I mean, you're gonna find that out when you're older, obviously, but yeah, they definitely were not related, and I think Arn's probably more popular than Ole ever was. But that's just because Ole is an asshole.
Yeah. Well, I honestly believe Arn went further than Ole or Gene did.
That is true. You see Arn in WWE and WCW, he's one of the Four Horsemen.
Got the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, one of the Four Horsemen, the Brain Busters.
Yep. So, I mean, that's really cool. And so, unfortunately with him, he had an accident and he had to quit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just tragic in itself, but that's the way it is, man. But
I will give kudos to WWE for having Arn Anderson as he's either a producer or a road agent or something with them. Even though his in-ring career ended so early, to have him still be a part of the business and, for the young up-and-coming talent to go up to him and ask his opinion on their match and just pick his brain is, I'm sure, a thrill.
Oh, I know. And, it's just, there was talk of him managing the Revival, and I thought that would have been perfect for him. Because, I mean, he's an old school wrestler. Obviously, Revival definitely are old school influenced.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, unfortunately, it probably was just a rumor that Arn Anderson would manage that team. However, Arn Anderson, the Enforcer, unfortunately, even in the late 90s, didn't do too much.
Yeah, I know.
But
I mean, for the Raw reunion, you did have the Revival take on the Usos. Of course, the Usos had their dad, Rikishi, in their corner, and the Revival had Devon in their corner, which was cool to see, but at the same time, it was like, I don't know, kind of weird.
Yeah, it didn't really make too much sense. The only thing I took away from that was somebody said Devon and Bubba Ray were old school wrestling take team.
Yeah.
So maybe Devon thought that the Revival were like an old school take team. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, nonetheless. Yeah, Minnesota Wrecking Crew won. So.
Now, this next match is another tag team match. It was very interesting. When Matt and I did the video for Wrestle Rock 85, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was a match featuring former AWA champion Rick Martel against former 7-time NWA World Champion Harley Race. This match pits the current NWA World Tag Team Champions Crusher Khrushchev and Ivan Koloff. There's a mouthful. Crusher Khrushchev and the AWA World Tag Team Champions, the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal.
Yes.
And you want to talk about four dudes that'll beat the hell out of each other?
You know, the Road Warriors should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago.
Yeah.
Even before Mike died.
Yes.
You know, it's just those two won multiple championships and were like the best tag team in the 80s and the 90s, and yeah, they just were really awesome. And the fact is, they came in and the bell didn't even ring, and they beat the shit out of the Russians.
Oh yeah, they come running into the ring, they get into the ring and just start wailing Khrushchev and Koloff.
Yes.
The whole match was just very physical, very straightforward, in your face, smash mouth style, which is exactly how the Road Warriors were throughout their career, and doesn't seem to matter whether it was, Crusher Khrushchev and Ivan Koloff or Ivan and Nikita. They would just pulverize the crap out of everybody. And so having two aggressive, in your face, just ruthless teams going to battle with, man, that's just a match for the ages.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much you said it.
Yeah. Of course, the unfortunate part of this match is ending in a double disqualification.
Yeah. You know, I said to Kyle too, I think that Krishnov, and I'll look it up because I could be wrong, I think maybe that's Barry Dorsal.
Right.
But
I believe it is.
yeah, so I thought I looked it up before because it was in the last pay-per-view review that we did
Yeah.
for look back, but you know, even Ivan Koloff,
Yeah.
he was the WWF champion.
Yes.
You know, I think a lot of people might forget about that, you know. But yeah, just a guy that unfortunately I didn't see a lot of when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like very cool just to see a tag team like that who are not Russian. Now, you look at someone like Lana, let's say, who's American but does a Russian accent. You know, it's probably influenced by the Koloffs.
Yeah, but I think Lana had either spent some time in Russia, lived in Russia, or part of her family lineage, I think, goes back to Russia somehow.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah. She's able to pull off Russian quite well, so.
Yes.
Now we go to a match for the NWA United States Championship. The current champion, Magnum TA, going 1-on-1 with 465 whatever pounds of a Ugandan giant Kamala.
You know, you look at Kamala, he actually wrestled in a lot of territories. Because you have him, he was in Mid-South Wrestling, you have WCW, you have WWE, obviously. I'm not quite sure about Smoky Mountain, but
Possibly.
you know, I think that, yeah, this guy definitely was a very cool gimmick wrestler, if
Yes.
you will. You know, I know that his entrance music scared the piss out of me when I was a
Yeah.
little kid, so
Kind of the
tribal, stomping and then the chants, and it's like, yeah, that's just creepy.
Yeah.
We then got made an MTA, a Greek tragedy, and just like Arn Anderson,
Yeah.
somebody that was really good and really had potential, and yes, he was the United States champion, but just like that, in a car accident, and that damn near took his life.
Yeah.
And ended his career, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's sad. It's really sad to see. Like, that could have easily happened to Ric Flair.
True.
Or Brian Pillman.
Yes.
But we don't know what happened to Brian afterwards.
Yes.
But, Magnum TA just had a lot of talent.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't even know how long he wrestled for before that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly, like, I'm very familiar with Magnum's career. I just not sure when exactly it was he started. What year he started, what promotion he even started with.
Oh, that steel cage match with Tully Blanchard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, this was a great match. And of course, making them somehow retain the title.
Disqualification.
Friggin'
Skandor Akbar got involved, was his managing Kamala, and went after Magnum, and then Magnum went after him, and he beats up Skandor. Then Magnum eventually ends up pulling off the belly-to-belly on Big Kamala, which was the question as to whether or not Magnum would be able to pull off the belly-to-belly suplex on Big Kamala, but he ended up doing it, even though the match was already ruled a disqualification.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Magnum was able to keep the title.
I really feel bad for Kamala too. Like, here's a guy that could sing, he was very articulate.
Yes.
And just like George Steele, it's like, okay, we know you can do all that, but can you just sound like Chewbacca and wear these face paint things?
Yeah. Paint your face and paint a couple stars on your chest and a moon on your belly and slap your belly and stomp your feet.
Yeah.
Be non-verbal and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So now we go on to a match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship with Ric Flair and, of course, a guy we already mentioned, Nikita Koloff. And your special guest referee for this match, David Crockett.
Oh, wow. I didn't see this match.
Right.
Well, we all know about Ric Flair, obviously. So.
Yes.
And we already talked about Nikita. So who won this one?
Rick did.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
And the final match of the evening was a steel cage match for the NWA World Television title. Got Dusty Rhodes against, well, another guy we kind of mentioned already earlier, Tully Blanchard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, two guys that, really, like Dusty Rhodes is one of those guys that was a great talker.
Oh, yes.
And, despite his physique, he could really go. And he had charisma. Really good in cage matches, too. I think when he was a heel with Dick Murdoch, it was really, well, it was obviously different. But,
yes.
I mean, becoming the American Dream and, just talking poetry, if you will, and wined and dined to where kings and queens had slept in the alley with pork and beans, and just one of those guys that, and his kids, Cody and Dustin, following in his footsteps, and, this guy was really, and he was a really good hardcore wrestler.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wrestling in all those matches. He did also in ECW, but
yeah,
even in WCW, he was really good at it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Tully Blanchard, again, doesn't really seem like Like, you look at the Four Horsemen and people go, oh, look, there's Ric Flair, and then you have Arn Anderson. Tully Blanchard, I didn't really, like, besides that match with Magnum TA, I didn't see a lot of him in singles matches.
Yeah.
I should probably watch more, obviously, but, you know, this was like, yeah, his daughter Tessa definitely is one of the best female wrestlers of today.
Absolutely.
If you don't believe me, fucking watch that match with Sami Callihan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, anytime we get an intergender match, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was, again, we didn't see this match either, but
Yeah.
I can honestly see that it was a great match.
I'm sure it was, yeah. Of course,
But,
Dusty ended up winning.
of course. So, I mean, there's like 2 matches on this card that we didn't see.
Right.
And we saw the card, and I saw the card, so I don't know. But this was a good show. Like, obviously, there could have been better, like, more footage, but
Yeah.
it was a good show nonetheless.
One thing I will critique is the fact that, okay, yes, they had a video about it. Yes, we were able to watch it and review it, but why did it have to be in so many parts?
Yeah,
It was like Jimmy Valiant versus Paul Jones, one short clip, and then you go Ron Bass and Buddy Landau, then you go the Six Man. It's like put it all together in one, like they did with Wrestle Rock '85 or other look backs we've done.
yeah,
Why break it down into like 5 parts for one show?
I know. Well, I think that this reminded me of WrestleMania 1.
In a way.
Like, I remember getting it on VHS. It was the first time I ever saw it, and when I watched it, it was almost like a clip show. You know, like there was no backstage interviews
Right.
or anything like that. So it sort of reminded me of that. Also, Tuesday Night Titans
Oh yeah.
with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, it's fun to do these. It's just we have to, especially me, think about it, and because it is a lot.
Yeah.
But this was a good review, and
Yeah.
next week we're gonna top. Oh yeah,
Next week we're gonna do In Your House '97.
yeah, 97, the Stampede,
Yeah.
and yeah, get to see Triple H in a pig pen.
Yeah.
So this has been a good review. Otherwise, and for me and Matt, this is Killer Kyle. Anything else you want to say?
This was a really good show. Kind of a quick review, but
Yeah.
sometimes that happens.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those are good too. I think, you know, when you have a lot of matches, it's kind of hard to, like, fit them into, and it'll be an hour. And, yeah, I could see why that's boring, but at the same time, you know, we try to cut it down, but this was a fairly good review, and I think next week will be even better. So,
Hopefully, yeah.
yeah, and then of course you'll have SummerSlam and NXT in Toronto,
Yes, sir.
and yeah, just wish that we were there.
Be nice. But
Anyways, and we'll see you next week.